something that has been on my mind for a little bit that I just been kind of thinking about. So I haven't really been doing my podcast, but it's coming back soon. So I think until I like get back and I'm doing a rebrand, I got a publicist now. I think I am going to focus on these like smaller episodes, and I think this might be the first one. So something I've been thinking about is I think a lot of people truly believe I'm a workaholic. And as I sit here and reflect and think about it, I think, and I'm really thinking this is my like true answer, I think I come off as a workaholic because I've never been paid my worth with a job. And then prior to the pandemic / during the pandemic, I ventured off into becoming an entrepreneur for multiple businesses, and one with my sister and one for myself, and then even helping my sister with her entrepreneur ventures. And something that just sat with me recently is like, I just have never been paid my worth. So I've always had to work multiple jobs, and I've always had to just make things work. And when I became an entrepreneur just by myself, like, I ventured off, I did Healing She Got Faith, I had a radio show which started this podcast, and I opened my own building with the help of my siblings, purchasing the building, and created services. I was doing emotional coaching, grief groups. I became an author. I started editing books, like started doing all this stuff, and I still didn't make money. And so after leaving entrepreneurship, I went back to work. So I got a regular, I call it a 9-to-5, but it's nonprofit world, and if you're in the nonprofit world, you know, like 9-to-5 doesn't really exist. But I got that job, and I ended up getting a part-time job, and I'm at a place where financially I'm okay. I haven't really figured out that if I let like my part-time job go, would I really be okay? You know, like I feel like I'm like right at that line. Being 100% transparent, like I'm probably just now in like okay spending habits. Like I think rebuilding my relationship around money, it still needs a little bit of work, but it's better than what it's been. But I'm just sitting here thinking, like, I have literally always been a workaholic because I've been forced to be a workaholic because I've just never been paid my worth. And I wonder what life would be like when I finally am paid my worth and exceed. Like, I have enough money to pay all my bills plus do my fun stuff, because I'm an expensive girl. Like, one thing about me, like, I like to go out to eat. I like to support people in the community. I like to service people. I like to give. I like to do a lot, and I need to make the money to be able to afford it. Like, I don't want to cut back on what I do. I just want to make the money. I just want to experience life. I want to be able to get paid my worth and be able to afford my life. And I think sometimes, like, we tell people, like, oh, you got bad spending habits, oh, you do this, oh, you do this. But, like, life doesn't have to be this expensive, right? Like, society has made it expensive. Capitalism has made it expensive. Even when you talk about, like, small businesses, like, with the new administration, like, they're affecting small businesses, right? Like, yeah, we could all shop at Walmart, but we know how terrible Walmart is to employees and to the vendors that service Walmart. Like, we know that. So, like, why not support local? Like, why not support our local businesses, you know? And also too, like, a lot of our struggles are systematic issues. Like, yes, let me not negate that, like, some of us have really bad habits. I had very bad financial habits and coping mechanisms, and unfortunately it put me in some financial battles. However, and I have also been paid pennies and have not been able to afford life. I have been expected as a nonprofit worker, not just with the current job, but like other jobs I've had. Most of my jobs have been nonprofit and or retail. I have been expected to work a 40-hour job with a smile on my face while barely being able to afford food. When I was in grad school, I was working full-time, working part-time in my practicum, which was not paid. And some days I couldn't, after paying all my bills, I couldn't even afford a box of cereal. And so because I know my lifestyle, and because I know like what it is that I want, and like in whatever that looks like, I have always made an effort to like work and hustle and be able to provide myself. Another really hard reality for me is I am doing this by myself. Like, I don't have parents to depend on. They're dead. We gonna call a spade a spade. They're dead. They died. I don't have a spouse. I don't know when that would like to happen. Like, if you would have asked me in high school, would I still be single at the age of 34? I would have laughed at your face, because what do you mean I'm gonna be single? Like, I just knew I was gonna have me a long-term relationship by now. What do you mean I've never been on a date? What do you mean I've never dated somebody who actually liked me? Like, yeah, that's a whole separate conversation for another day. But like, in this season, like, I don't have a spouse. I don't have a kid. And I'm not saying having a kid would have made my life easier, but at least I would have had somebody, you know? I'm grateful that I didn't just have a kid with just anybody. And also too, like, I'm grateful that like I didn't have a kid when I was like very immature, very depressed, very just not ready, which I don't think we're ever ready for motherhood, which again is another podcast for another day. But like, also too, like, I'm grateful that I don't have a kid now, because I can guarantee you it would have been miserable if I think about like the guys that would have been a father. Like, I would have hated them and they would have hated me, and our child would have had to watch that. Like, no, you know, that's a whole nother subject. But anyways, I don't have that. I do have dogs that depend on me, but like, also too, like, I have to take care of that. I have to take care of the dogs. I have to take care of my household. I have to take care of my community center. I have to take care of my workload. I have to take care of everything I decide to do, right? And so I'm just like, yeah, it looks like I'm a workaholic, because I honestly just have never had the privilege or the honor of being paid a nice amount. To be completely honest, like, I've never been told I was worthy to have like a higher up job. Like, I've applied for higher up jobs, like directors, executive directors. I mean, I'm bold. I even applied for like COO, CEO jobs. I've applied, and I've always been told I'm just entry level. And that's hard to hear, because I'm way above entry level. But it sucked, because I got into a position last year where, like, after owning a business, I needed to go back to work because the finances were so low. And so, like, trying to get a higher level job, it just didn't work. I did hire a career coach, and I got a job within, like, literally weeks with getting him. And the job, the pay wasn't terrible. It wasn't where I wanted it to be, but it wasn't terrible. I would like to say I could have got paid higher somewhere else, but to be honest, I had been applying for jobs for probably like 1 to 2 years and hadn't got any hits. And then, like, it got to the point, like, them higher level jobs I was applying for, I didn't even hear nothing back from them. And then, like, the couple people who did respond back were just like, we were just looking for people with more experience. And I'm like, what more do you want? Like, I've been in this industry for 14 years. Like, I've done, like, I have a literal portfolio that's thick. What do you mean I don't have the experience? And so, like, that was really disheartening. That was hurtful. And so for me, I've always had to be a workaholic, because I have to, but I don't want to anymore. And that's like kind of where I'm at in my season. Like, I don't want to keep missing out on things. I don't want to miss everything. Like, I honestly don't mind having multiple jobs, but do I need to work every day? I've been needing my time off, and I like to travel too. Like, so pay me so I could travel, please. You know, and so I think sometimes capitalism and systematic issues make us think that we're one way, when really they forced us to be this other way. Like, it's easy to say, oh, she's a workaholic, she doesn't know how to sit down, versus being like, dang, like, she should be paid more. she's doing this because it's just her. You know, like, I talk to people all the time, they're like, dang, I didn't realize both your parents were dead. I'm like, yeah, I literally don't have them to call on. Like, I am going through real life situations and I do not have my parents to call on. That is stressful. That is stressful. And it sucks. That is a hard reality as I hit my mid-30s. That really, really sucks. Like, I am out here, career, homeowner, business owner, car owner, dog mom, community advocate, author, editor, publisher, and I do not have parents to call on. You know, and when I look back at my parents, they were hustlers too. Like, they really were workaholics. Like, and it's just, I just can't help but think that, like, this was a generational curse that was passed down, and I want to break that shit. I legit just want to break that shit, because if I'm blessed with the opportunity to have kids, whether it's biologically, adopting, or whatever that may look like, maybe even stepkids, I want to break that generational curse to where, like, they don't have to work multiple jobs. Like, it's okay to give them a savings. It's okay to, like, create a different life for them. I think, like, I remember talking to my mom about this, and it was, like, right before she died, so it's so crazy. I gotta take my earmuffs off for this. I remember talking to my mom about this, and I remember, like, telling her, like, I can't wait for you to grow old, because I want to buy you a house. I want to spoil you. I want to do all this stuff. Like, I want to do that. But also, too, like, I want to buy this big house, not for her, for me, my husband, and my kids. And I was like, I want to have my kids, and I want the house to be big. But what me and my husband are going to do, we're going to turn the kids' room. So maybe we'll take the upstairs or the basement, turn it into an apartment for our kids. So full-fledged kitchen, bathroom, living room, bedroom, whatever that may look like. They can have different locks, you know, so that they don't feel like they connected. You know what I'm saying? Like, it will literally be an apartment within a house. Mom will have a key. Like, I'm gonna have a key to your house. I mean, you know, I respect you. I have your boundaries. I will not, you know, just bust into your apartment. But I'm gonna create that for you. Because if you decide to go to college and become an entrepreneur, it started off with if you decide to go to college, because I've always had to work while being in school, which made school 10 times harder. And I was like, I don't want them paying rent. I don't want them paying for anything. Like, let me at least do that for them so they have somewhere to stay, unless they decide to go out of state, and then that's a whole different thing. But also, too, okay, let me reel it back. So anyways, they don't have to work. They can stay in their apartment. They have their independence or whatever. And I want to do certain things to help them prepare for their adulthood. If they decide to go out of state, you know, of course, we want to be able to pay for it. We want to be able to provide and get them different things. But when they're done with school, they at least have a place to come back called home. They at least have an apartment that they don't necessarily have to pay rent for. But they'll have their privacy and they'll have all that. And I remember, like, telling this to my mom. My mom was like, that is absolutely beautiful, and that is such a big dream, and that is so honorable for you to, like, think of that. And the whole purpose is, like, I don't want my kids to go through that. I would like my kids to see that at some point in my life, I developed a soft life. I really wanted things to just go a different way. I really wanted them to see a different life that I haven't necessarily saw. And it was so honoring for me that my mom, like, sat there and was like, that is actually really beautiful that that's what you want to do with your kids. Now, did I think I would be childless and single with not a fucking option in sight till I was 34? No, I didn't. I also didn't think at the age of 34 I would still be working multiple jobs. And not to say 34 is old. I don't think I'm old. I actually love being in my 30s. My 30s have been the best thing that ever happened to me. And at the same time, it just kind of sucks because I am 34 and I've never dated a guy who actually liked me. I haven't been on any real dates that I haven't planned and paid for and all that stuff. Judge your mama. Don't judge me. fix yourself before you make a comment about me. It's just a lot. It's a lot. My dad, he died at work, so that's always been a metaphor. So I do not want to work myself to death because he definitely died at work. My mom died the evening after getting off of work. Well, she died a couple days later. Her incident happened like after she got off work. So yeah, I am just sitting here pondering on like, am I really a workaholic, or has life forced me to be a workaholic? I just want to change that. I eventually just want a job that I can be at long term. I would like my business to pick up. I've created my business to where it really could run itself, and so I'm really excited to have this publicist to like make the vision come to life, you know, have like automated systems and things like that. And also to like just see a life where I don't have to work multiple jobs, and I also don't have to like keep struggling. Like, as I'm recording this podcast, I am exhausted, and I just don't want that. I want to live my life. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy. I want to support the community. I want to be there. I want to rest. I want to sleep when I want, you know, like, it's just, I just want it. And so like, I want to have this big audacious dream. Like, I want this dream. Like, how dare you dream that you deserved it? Like, how dare you dream that big? Like, you're nuts. I want that dream, and I feel like I'm headed in the right direction to create that lifestyle. So I think this would be such a good mini episode as I'm working with my publicist to rebrand myself. So, am I really a workaholic? I don't know though, but I think that's just something that we need to think about. And I think that's a lot of times I say, like, we have to check these systems, we have to check these policies, like, we have to be active in the community, we have to get a network that actually has a net worth. You get my drift? Like, we can have a network, but it needs to have a net worth. So, but yeah, that is just something I wanted to share with you all. I've missed you all. I miss podcasting. I love you all. I love you, but love you the way you love the world, and I will catch y'all next time. Bye, guys.